Pounders, welcome back. Tonight, we're going to go to a brewery, but first, we have to put in the work, and we're going to grind out some Battle Royale and maybe some gauntlets or some mittens. We'll mix them in depending on what the people want. We are for the people. And if you guys want to learn how to draft like us, get some strategy from us, just different ideas on what we do, stick around, drop the sub, Pounders. We did take down week 18 Battle Royale for 25 Gs. So we got a little bit of street cred now, which I actually don't even like. I'd rather just stay completely behind the scenes. But we're doing it for the people. We are releasing, just different ideas. That's all. That's all. We get a little different. Because if you're doing the same thing in these drafts, you're going to end up with similar teams to what everyone else is drafting. And that's going to severely limit your chances of winning first place. So let's do this. You just got done with a little house project, end up with a small injury, which is almost a must. Every house project, you must swear a little. There's got to be some sort of pain that you endured. And then it comes out looking good. Or maybe you drink a beer. So let's kind of formulate a little dibble dabble what we're gonna do here in the 6th spot. Not noticing any of these names. We got 4 badgeless people in here. 6th spot is pretty nice because you can go back-to-back wide receiver here. You don't have to do the common Josh Allen Diggs stack. Now, if you're only doing 10 lineups, go ahead, get your Josh Allen and Diggs. But we do around 40 to 50 lineups a week for Battle Royale. So we get to mix things up and get a little different. Kind of gives us a small little benefit there. You guys, after posted, drop a like on the video, drop a comment. What stacks are your favorite this week? Is it the Chase Joe Burrow stack? Joe Burrow going super late. And he looked really good. We only saw 1 drive, right? 1.5 drives against Buffalo, but Joe Burrow was on. We called this super early into the week that these positional players would move in front of the QBs. We were on that back on Tuesday. So let's see what happens here. Try and mix it up a little bit. We have some Danny Dimes lineups. We have some Trevor Lawrence lineups. I'd say I'm probably short on Dak if I checked my exposures. I bet I'm short on Dak. I bet I'm short on Trevor Lawrence as well. I do like getting Kelsey if I'm going to do like a Jacksonville stack. I like to get Kelsey. Yeah, four positional players go. Very common. People going Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Josh Allen, Diggs. It's not wrong. He goes Diggs. Let's do a little Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. It's chalky, but we'll get different in the later rounds. If he didn't pick Diggs and he didn't pick AJ Brown, I probably would have went AJ Brown, Diggs. Get 2 high-tier wide receivers. San Fran Debo's interesting. He's a big play guy, right? Waiting to happen. So he's perfect for these best ball tournaments where you're looking for upside. Let's see. The team that got Barkley. Okay, interesting. I'm not against it. Okay. Dude, is this music too loud again? Let me... So weird. I have it on 3. I have it on... Yeah, Still getting used to the StreamYard thing. I don't understand the music aspect where you have it on 3 and it's just like so loud. Crazy. Doesn't seem right, but who am I? Sport taking it all the way down. 0 seconds on the clock. It's going to be an auto pick. Auto pick, Devonta Smith. Na 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 na. Let the beat drop. All right, they got to put this guy in auto draft. Like, come on. This is. Can we get this guy on auto draft now? That's the third one. Jeez, Louise. My God. Travis Kelce, Josh Allen at the 11 spot. I love that. And then brings it back with Gabe Davis. Perfect, my friend. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. He didn't just go best available here. He reached down. I think Gabe Davis goes around, 19. So super smart. Get the correlation in there. Also, with the highest upside tight end of the week, you got Jacksonville, one of the worst defenses against tight end. Dude, these teams are just taking it all the way down. This draft's going to take as long as my home league. Like, let's go. You should be able to type or like send them emojis, something in the chat. Something. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes Jerick McKinnon. I'd like these two. We got some options. Is everyone on auto draft? No. He's just literally taking it all the way down. All right. What do we got for tight ends? I'm not opposed going Buffalo. Well, Dawson. Well, Dawson Knox at the end there. Not opposed to that at all. Dude, another guy just taking it all the way down. It's the same, like, I'm ready to leave the room. Like, this is my attention span is just, it's not there right now. It's not there. I'm ready to grind. I want to get in a few of these. Might have to get multiple. All right, let's see these losers lineups. My God. Diggs, Lamb, T. Higgins, Kittle. So he's got a little correlation here, a little correlation here. I don't hate it, to be honest. Let's see how he wraps it in. Because Ayuk is not going to be there on the way back for him. So he's not going to be able to go Kittle and Ayuk and then do Purdy. Debo squad, Jacksonville versus KC. Yeah, we got no correlation. As you can see, like, teams still have trouble correlating. And it's more that they don't know better. And they're kind of drafting just based off ADP. And when you draft just off ADP, first off, it's like trying to hit a 5-person parlay. If you have no correlation in one game, like if you think that KC game, let's say the spread is high, the points are high for that game. Vegas says it's going to be 50.5. That might be a game you want to target, get multiple players in that game. QB, a receiver, or QB, the tight end, Mahomes, Kelsey, and a bring back like Kirk or Zay Jones or Ingram. It's going to raise your chances of hitting. Even if it's an unlikely scenario, like when we had Russell Wilson, paired Russell Wilson with Judy, when we brought it back with the player on the other side of the ball in the same game, Keenan Allen, it ended up being like a shootout type of game, and that's how you win when there's 40,000 entrants. Now it's going to be a little tougher here where the slate is smaller, but it doesn't mean we can't get different. So Giants, I'm looking at Hodgins. I'm looking at Slayton as a bring back player in this Philly Giants game. Yeah, so this guy he got sniped on IU. So we'll see what he's gonna do. He might just do. He needs a running back and a QB. That's good because we're not looking at those. Now people might not remember, but Slayton was targeted in the back of the end zone here. Barely missed it. And that's the difference between another like 9 points. He would have had a 20-point week. Hodgins did have a 20-point week. He's got the ankle injury. He had it since before the Minnesota game. He went out and absolutely slammed Minnesota. I don't want to risk Knox being drafted. I've seen teams go, yeah, and this guy needs a tight end. This guy's already gone to tight ends. So that's the good call there. We're going to go. Oh, yeah, we got back to back. Man. Cheers. We get to do whatever we want. Here we go. So this is the squad. Jalen Hurts paired with A.J. Brown. We get the bring back player on the other side of the ball with Isaiah Hodgins. We have a mini stack between Jerick McKinnon and Christian Kirk, and we have our one-off pick in Dawson Knox. Nice to get a little bit of the Buffalo game. You know, it doesn't feel right when you don't get like a small piece of that game, or if you don't get a small piece of the KC game. It feels wrong. So I'm glad we're able to get in that. Let's another one. Let's see what we get. Pick six, not my favorite, but you can get different. So I think we did that there while still getting some correlation. Damn. A room with no one with badges. What is this? What is this? All right, fellas. This is how it's going to go. They're honestly just going to follow ADP. That's the majority will. There might be a couple people in here that watch other streams, watch some of the sharps, but typically people that are a little less experienced do just kind of go with the flow with ADP. First pick, Patrick Mahomes. Called it. Oh, God. They follow ADP, but they also like Patrick Mahomes. That's – you got to keep that in mind. Let's get some CMC. It is a little nerve-wracking that Elijah Mitchell had 7 red zone touches last week. 7. In my opinion, that can heavily limit CMC's upside, but the guy's a big play waiting to happen, and a lot of those touches did come after like a big CMC play, so they had to take him out, give him a breather. But yeah, 7 touches in the red zone for Elijah Mitchell, something to look out for. This is so funny. I don't think I've been in a full room without just full badgeless room. Let's see how this goes. We should be able to get the players that we want. you guys that don't know, Battle Royale for this week is a 45,000 person entrant tournament. It's a $5 entry, 20K to first, second place being 10K. And as you see the breakdown right here, all the way to $7. So that's why we want to shoot for upside, all the big payouts right up here. Half point PPR. And after that, it's pretty standard. And we're going to be starting one QB, one running back, two wide receivers, and a tight end. And the flex can be a running back, wide receiver, tight end. Seen a lot of two tight end teams this week, which I don't know. I liked it better last week, and that was the winner of like deep DraftKings tourneys was two tight end. Battle Royale was a single tight end team though. Low life goes Lamb. The problem I have with this is it's so chalky. So what's a way we can get different? I would have liked Lamb on the other side of the ball. Also a little chalky. Let's get a little different here. Just reaching up a few picks to get Jerick McKinnon is going to cut out a large portion of the field that drafts CMC. Not a large portion. Not a words. Words are tough sometimes. English. A large portion of the CMC drafters will not be reaching up for Jerick McKinnon here. Let's go TT. Get a little TT in my life. Interested in these three. If Joe Burrow comes back, it'll sort of be a miracle because this team has Jamar. But we'll see. He shouldn't be picking Jamar now because the teams after him already have QBs. He goes ETN. I like it. I like this team that reached for Sanders. I'm big on Sanders this week. I mean, I don't expect him to have a repeat performance of the last time he faced off against the Giants, but the Giants are very bad on the ground. I think he went like 17 carries, 144 yards, like 2 touchdowns, and he had another catch. So Sanders, I like him in DFS, like DraftKings as well. Super cheap, like 5,700. Let's see what we get on the way back to us. We'll have to get through 2 more teams for Joe Burrow. I'd be super surprised if he doesn't go JoJo. He doesn't. He goes Joe Mixon. Cool. So I can either go Kittle or Burrow here. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's go Goddard. Let's go Goddard here. If I was going to go Kittle, I would make it a Brock Purdy lineup, but I like that I'm getting Joe Burrow at 26 here. We have T. Higgins, and we could always go Boyd at the end. Boyd's there. Or we can, again, just go with a Hodgins or a Slayton, who, in my opinion, have more upside. So those are going to be more exciting picks for me. Patrick Mahomes, Debo, Miles Sanders, George Kittle. Let's go on receiver here. Hodgins off the board. Joe Burrow, welcome to the squad. Very surprised that he didn't get sniped right here. We'll see how they correlate the squads. This team's probably going to go deck. Can always get Gallup, but that'd make 3. I'm just worried about like Tony Pollard. I think his upside's pretty capped because of Zeke. I mean, he's getting around like 30% of the snaps. He's more of like that gadget type player for that offense. Not saying he can't go out and do it. We've seen him do it. But with Zeke still there, caps his upside for sure. Tony off the board over Ayuk. In what world? In what world? Man, people don't like Ayuk this week, huh? He almost caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone. He was inches away from having a 20-point plus game. J5704, welcome back to the live stream. Throwing shade says you didn't even win 25K last week. Slipping. Yeah, we did. We did come in 61st last week for 100. Like all the money's at the top. Could have definitely finished top 20 if Godwin had more than 13 points. But yeah, we're trying to change that this week, Jay. You know, you can't win first place every week. We're still sitting on some fat cash up here, so you know, slipping maybe a little bit. It's icy out. It's Massachusetts. Damn, dude, really? Like Juju falls? Juju versus Jacksonville. I don't really have a bring back for it. I mean, just because he fell so far, 6 picks, it's different. It's different. Okay. That that lineup could be a solo win right there. I did make a nice shelf. Jay did get the update on the house project that was in there. I must say, if you guys are traveling to New York and you're in the airport, you want to make sure you have your phone on you and you don't want to leave it with TSA because they will not realize until after you leave the line because they will be super high on the weeds. J5704. That may have happened to you, right? First pick, and we got this Cali guy and Mr. Auto Pick, both in this draft as well. So let's see what we want to do. Let's see what we want to do. We'll go another CMC squad. I'm fine with it. I do want to get a little Dallas correlation with CMC, potentially like a Gallup, who's a big play guy at the end here. Yeah, you're on a cold spree right now, just leaving stuff at airports, whether it's suits or phones. Like you gotta change your ways somehow. You gotta find a way. Find a way. Poor Jay. Brother Jay. I should charge him. This is his company. So I think on the live stream, that's worth that'd be like $40. $40 worth of advertisement, probably get 10 views. I mean, numbers, big numbers, guy. Josh Allen goes at 2, Barkley at 3, Kelsey falling all the way to 4. This team might get Kelsey and Mahomes. Super high chance to get Kelsey and Mahomes. About as high as it gets. But those badgeless people love Mahomes. Just to clarify, the suit was left in Orlando. The phone was left in New York. Just you're like Robin Hood, but with your personal items and not other people's items. Chase and Diggs. The team's going to get Kelsey Mahomes. What a luck box. What a luck box. I do like this start, though, the Jamar Diggs start. I think that's absolutely fire. Every time I'm in the 6th spot, Jamar or Diggs goes early. Jamar falling 3 places. Well, 2, I guess. 2 spots. And we'll just have the standard people coming back to us. I love it. Tyler, welcome to the live stream.
It has been too long.
Do you want to give us an intro here? We'll give you the floor.
What's going on, Pounders? Always a pleasure to stop in. Always a pleasure to be here. We are here to win some money. Let's get it done. Let's get these drafts done. Weekend spread is in front of us. Kick your feet up. Let's watch this stream. Hit some drafts. Let's smash some picks this week. We crushed a couple last week. Let's keep it hot. Let's keep it hot.
Yeah, we are running hot.
I mean, 2 of the 3 picks. I mean, Josh Palmer pick.
What do you think about? What do you think about going a little Jacksonville route with this team?
So that was actually one of my big. I don't know if I would even call it a sleeper at this point, because I feel like a lot of people are kind of high on Jacksonville as well. I'm high on a lot of Jacksonville pass catchers this week. I'm just realizing my camera is like super, super bright, making me look like a ghost. Okay, there we go.
I mean, it's pretty safe to say that they can be playing from behind, right? But this game does have a high point total as well.
Right. And I think Trevor Lawrence in this offense is kind of flipped on a head since the last time these teams have played. It was 27-17 the last time these two teams played back in early November, I want to say it was. And Jacksonville has kind of done a complete 180, and their offense looks entirely different towards the second half of the season and as they make their playoff push right now. So I'm high on a lot of their pass catchers. Definitely love Trevor Lawrence in this matchup as well. I know he had the 4 interceptions last week, but
in the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that second half of the game, the way they played is great. He had the 4 touchdowns to kind of make up for it, but I don't see 4 interceptions happening in this game.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, you can pretty much bank on him for a 20-point plus week. We are going to shoot for the upside with this lineup of he's probably going to have to get over 25 points to finish as the top QB. 25 to like it's going to be like 30 to 32, I'd say.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect guys like Brock Purdy and Daniel Jones to have 30-point performances this weekend.
Right.
I don't see these matchups are obviously a lot tougher. And the further you go in these playoff runs, the matchups get a lot tougher. San Francisco is one of the best defenses in the league. So I don't see Dak Prescott also having another 40-point game or whatever it was that he did end up finishing with.
I will say too, Travis Etienne, he's not catching the ball enough, so I don't love pairing him with Trevor Lawrence. But on any given Sunday, this guy is capable of catching the ball. He is capable of making a big play and getting in the end zone. And why not stack him here? Where let's see if we can. So running backs are out. Are you interested in a Juju bring back?
Yes. So that's where the Kansas City offense has been super inconsistent, is the wide receiver room. We're not really sure which wide receiver is going to see 5+ targets, but Juju has seen the targets. It's just the past few weeks going into the end of the season, he kind of failed to produce with his targets. I'm still high on him, and I know the point total in this game is like 53.5 or 52.5. So Vegas is expecting a lot of points, and I think we all
we
are.
Have Dalton Schultz or Dawson Knox, and we have Schultz as like a little mini stack between CMC.
Yeah, I like that one a little more than Dawson Knox. Obviously, Schultz is coming off that huge 2-touchdown game against.
Get some correlation in there.
Yeah, against Tampa Bay, but Dawson Knox, he's touchdown reliant. He's not going to be a guy that's going to get you 8 or 9 catches. He'll be a 3 catches max, and then hopefully 2 of those are for touchdowns. Last week, he had that second one that was called back, but
True.
I think I just trust Dalton Schultz a little bit more just because the targets have been so high throughout this whole season.
That's true. Super true. Good call. Yeah, I think he just has the higher upside as well. I mean, let's think about who Dak can throw the ball to. It's really going to Lamb, Schultz. I mean, he might have some dump offs to Tony Pollard. Gallup, now that he's healthy, he's getting in that like 5 to 6 range of targets. But like Dalton Schultz is the number 2 over there versus Dawson Knox is who knows what number he is, right? Because Josh Allen spreads the ball to everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's Stephon Diggs and then everyone else. So
for sure,
there's not a whole lot of guys on that team outside of Diggs that see more than 5 targets a game. Gabe Davis is a guy who, in the playoffs last season, we saw his target share go up massively, and we saw that in week 1 against Miami. I do like him to kind of taper off a little bit in this matchup. However, I think that this game might not be as high. I think the Buffalo and Cincinnati game might not be as high scoring as people want it to be. There's just been a lot of turnovers.
True.
On Buffalo's side. He's getting into the red zone, and the windows obviously shrink. They get tighter. But he just hasn't made the greatest decisions in the red zone. So I don't think this game is going to be as high scoring as a lot of people want it to be.
All right, let's jump in another battle royale, and then maybe we'll get into a mitten or a gauntlet. We'll see how we're feeling.
Let's see if I can get into this one with you. I hopped in one. Let's see if it's going to put us both in this.
Yep. Best of luck to you, sir.
Picks 1 and 2.
I will be keeping all my picks private from you while still discussing what goes on in this galaxy-sized brain. We saw early in the week that the QBs were up here at the 2, 3, and 4. And you had the positional players at, starting at, CMC was at 1, then you had Kelsey 5, Jamar Chase 6, Saquon Barkley 7. We called pretty early in the week on Tuesday that this was going to change, that the positional players were going to rise up on the board ahead of these QBs. And I wasn't drafting a lot of these QBs. I was getting crazy starts at the 5 and 6, like Jamar Chase and Saquon Barkley or Kelsey Chase at the 5-6 turn. It was absolutely nutty. Sorry, I just did 2 CMC teams, so we're going to mix it up a little here.
I haven't had a draft yet to get Kelsey.
Little Casey love in here. Kelsey going against one of the worst tight end defending teams. So
when he falls to 2, you have to take him every time, right? When he falls to 2, you have to take him.
Yeah. I mean, CMC is look at the running back slate this week. It's not awesome. If I don't get CMC or Barkley, I'm sprinkling in some Joe Mixon. I'm sprinkling in some Jerick McKinnon when I have Mahomes. I'm sprinkling in some Sanders. But I guess the only other guy that's super interesting, and it's if you're completely avoiding the KC game, is bringing in someone like an Isaiah Pacheco who does have a ceiling of around 17 points. So he's a good little hedge on the bet.
Yeah. But he's a guy that's very touchdown reliant. He's not going to be your pass catcher. We know that's Jerick McKinnon's role. But he is definitely around the 15 to 17 touches a game guy. So he can easily total 100 yards on the ground. He's very limited in the passing game. He's not the pass catcher.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not stacking him with any Mahomes teams. If Josh Allen falls, oh my God.
I mean, when he falls, you have to take him, right? I mean, I'm just getting these guys to fall right
God damn.
I'm just getting the guys to fall.
Guys got CMC Allen. The hell?
I know I just said that game might not be as high scoring as a
Yeah,
lot of
but
people
I
want it
like
to be,
Josh
but
Allen. He's not someone that you even have to stack with anyone else.
yeah, he has the big playmaking ability on his own, so kind of have to take him when he's there.
I don't. Let's see. Get a little correlation in this Jacksonville KC game with someone other than Kirk, which I feel like I've been doing a lot. Even stacking 2 tight ends would have been fine. I guess Kelsey and Ingram is a good way to get different as well, and he can get in that 18 to 20 point range. Obviously, you've seen his ceiling. He had an absolute enormous game.
I'll get a mix and bring back here for Allen.
So Tyler decides to go with Mixon, get involved in this Buffalo game. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, just get the bring back there. We have Allen, so we're going to be getting points on either side of the ball.
I wanted Josh Allen, dude. I wanted Josh Allen.
I don't think I have a draft with Josh Allen yet. But like you touched on a little bit earlier too, where we were looking at quarterbacks. Joe Burrow last week was going around 6 to 10. I want to say like 10 to 12 at the latest. And this week his ADP is around 18.
Right.
So the quarterback position has kind of just taken a backseat to a lot of these, skill position players. And I think rightfully so with a lot of these matchups. I think it is going to come down to a lot of the skill guys, a lot of the running backs, and a lot of these matchups, goal to go situations where they're going to be handing the ball off. These are really good game slates.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it's playoffs and it's obvious that they're the best teams left in the league, but I think it's anyone's table to run. Like I don't think that there's a clear front runner for me right now as to who is gonna get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Mahomes. I think KC has the easiest road potentially, right? But on the other side of things, since he's 5-point underdogs in a game that I didn't expect to be more than 3.5.
So an interesting stat I read. I'll say it right after we'll just go into it now.
Go right into it.
Trevor Lawrence has never lost a football game on a Saturday in his high school, college, or NFL career. And Patrick Mahomes has never not made an AFC championship game.
Damn. Someone's stat line has to break.
Someone is going to break down in that game.
Right.
But how crazy is that? Trevor Lawrence never lost on a Saturday. Like, even in college, the only time he lost was playoff game and the national championship, and neither of those games were on a Saturday.
That's wild.
And he won last week on a Saturday.
There's Philly, Dallas.
All right, so I have a Dalton Schultz bring back for McCaffrey. So why don't I try to get in on a little bit of Zay Jones there.
Everyone's already got their QB, so I didn't have to worry about any QB being sniped for me. I'm clearly going Brock Purdy. I did want to get someone on the other side of the ball, and for me, it's going to be Michael Gallup in this game. Obviously, it can be Schultz. Obviously, it can be Lamb. But who's to say that Gallup isn't the one that blows up this game?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've seen, Dak Prescott has been spreading the ball a lot. It's been CeeDee Lamb, second on targets, and the team is Dalton Schultz. But then the rest of the wide receivers are all kind of picking for targets.
For sure.
Whoever's the hot guy that game is just, that's how it's going to be.
For sure.
And we saw DK as, kind of that I don't know if you call him a second option on the team. I mean, him and Lockett are kind of 1A and 1B, but it was just a huge Metcalf game. Lockett didn't get much of the action. So,
Yep. After this, we're gonna jump in a gauntlet. $25 tourney. Have you dabbled in any of the mittens, or have you looked at any of those, or you just been strictly on the battle royales?
I've been on the battle royales.
Okay.
I thought about doing some of the gauntlets last week, but
Yep.
um,
We'll get into it. I'll
hoping.
kind of share with you where my mind goes during these drafts, and you can kind of bring me back to planet Earth.
So I'll go with another bring back so that I have correlation with all my picks here. And
I like it. You don't need anyone on Buffalo to get there.
yeah, that's what I
Josh
figured. I mean,
Allen.
I'm not going to take Gabe Davis at pick 14.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Go with a safer guy as Mixon, who's going to get way more touches than Gabe Davis is.
So we're gonna be in the 2 spot here, and what I like to do is I like to bring this up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm getting Mahomes, maybe I go with Philly players. This isn't updated, which is crazy. How is this not updated? Let me pull up a new one. Player. A little visual. The visual helps, though. The visual does help.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share with you one of my other. So I've got 5 entries so far. I'll probably make a couple more before tomorrow, but I have Jalen Hurts, Isaiah Pacheco. I got AJ Brown to fall to me as well. So I have a Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown stack.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Pacheco is the running back, and then I have Kirk, Darius Slayton with the bring back there from AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, and then Evan Ingram as well to pair with Christian Kirk, and Pacheco's the bring back in that game.
I like that. Because, I mean, Pacheco, like we said, is a hedge. So if he does get in the end zone once or twice, that is 2 touchdowns that Mahomes is not taking part in. So it's a good way to hedge that game.
Yeah, I've been taking on. I've got Ingram in 2 out of the 5 drafts, which I hate. You know, I know we talked about it before, having the variance, having the different lineups and different players,
but 5
Ingram,
drafts isn't enough. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I
it
know.
only takes 1 to win, but you're not really worried about, having a double in that, right? Because it might be Ingram. It might be Ingram as the highest scoring tight end on the week, and you just need the other players around it. Like, you were close last week in Battle Royale. You had a lot of the right pieces. You had a lot of Brock Purdy, where I had a lot of DK.
I think my biggest thing I had was in the Sunday and Monday matchups. I had a Burrow and Chase stack with I had a Burrow, Chase, and Higgins stack. I can pull up the team, actually.
Yeah. I remember you getting that, and that was like super. It was like under 1%.
Yeah, I had a Burrow, Chase, and Higgins stack with the Dobbins bring back, and then Isaiah Hodgins and TJ Hawkinson with the bring back on either of those guys.
Give us Diggs. This is under 3%.
And the only guy that underperformed in that lineup was T. Higgins. I mean, we still came out with 15. It was a $5 entry, so we still came out with 15.
Diggs goes. What do you want to do here? Do you want to make this a Buffalo versus Philly lineup? So we got Buffalo as the QB. We got Josh Allen. I'm not interested in going Cincy players. I'm not interested in going KC Jacksonville right now.
I would go with AJ
can't
Brown
go to the
here.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would go with AJ Brown here. I think.
See if he falls. Jalen Hurts. I mean, he should be going AJ Brown, but he's got no badge, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I would definitely go AJ Brown there. I think he has the path of least resistance to score the most points because
I think you got to go Sanders too, right? Sanders, because I mean, if we're going Buffalo versus Philly, we'll see if
Yeah.
he falls. But Buffalo
Yeah.
versus Philly, Buffalo running backs are kind of a miss. Not even a hit
Yeah.
miss,
It's either
just a
Cook,
miss.
Singletary, and you just don't know who's going to get those touches. They've both been kind of eating into it. And it's never been like a set schedule as to who's going to be the guy that gets 60% of the touches, but it's been a 60-40 split basically for the last half of the season. And
So Kid
it's
Curry
randomly.
is going KC San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
I like it bringing in Miles Sanders. I agree with that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So let's kind of keep track of this Grug guy because he doesn't really. So he might be going Philly KC. This team's going KC San Fran. So he should be sniping another KC player on the way back around.
He's going. The next kid is going.
Immaculate is sniping Buffalo
San Fran and
players.
Buffalo.
Buffalo San Fran,
Yeah.
which is okay. I'm okay
Yeah.
with going with just like a Josh Allen and maybe bringing back a Knox if Knox makes it. One pass catcher is fine.
Yeah.
Goddard would
I was
be
going to say, I also
fine.
don't hate Dallas Goddard either. I think in order to win a lot of these games, they have to get him way more involved now that he's back fully healthy and work back into the offense. I think he has to get more involved for Philly to make a deep run.
Yeah, I agree. He's one of Jalen Hurts' favorite targets, so I think he can eat into Devonta Smith's workload.
Yeah.
Not really going to eat into AJ Brown's. So let's see. We got San Fran. So another team's going San Fran. Giants. Same side of the ball as San Fran. Interesting. I like it. He didn't go Knox. So we're worried about this team. KC, San Fran. So he shouldn't be. Here comes a Goddard pick. He goes Knox, dude. So this is a team that has no idea what it's doing.
Yeah.
He's got a KC player. He's got a Buffalo player. It's painful, but
That's just drafting for, talent in fantasy football, not drafting for the matchup.
well, I mean, his players are dead. Like they can't both make the Super Bowl, right? So
that's missing out on a full week of points.
So let's say Buffalo does beat KC. Let's say they both move on this week and Buffalo beats KC next week. You're not going to have a running back because we have Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm. So when one of your players gets eliminated, are you able to
Your lineup can still move forward if you win that week, but let's say you have all Jacksonville players, they go off, but your
right,
lineup
but
moves
then
forward,
next
but
week?
Jacksonville loses, your players aren't going to get points next week for that team.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like, how sometimes they do where you can substitute if someone doesn't play. I didn't know if it was a way where you can substitute players when they don't play.
Right. I do like Buffalo that we have these wide receivers that we can go late. I think Cole Beasley is going to be a big thing in the playoffs as just
Yeah,
that trustworthy guy, good route runner.
He's a very sneaky player to have, especially since he's been in the system for so long. He knows the plays a lot more than some of the other guys that are deeper in that depth chart.
Yep.
I think he's a very sneaky key for them to go far as well.
Dude, if we go over this GU Rug guy, right? If he picks Juju here for this Knox, his team's looking good. He has Jalen Hurts. He has a way into the playoffs. He has a way to score points. McKinnon, Devonta Smith, he would have had Juju and Tony. But
I'm not sure why you would take Dawson
he's just
Knox
donating
over
$25.
Juju in any instance either.
So Singletary gets taken. Team's got 3 running backs. Who does he go for a QB? Purdy's gone. He's going to have to go Danny Dimes.
Looks like that's where he's probably heading, yeah.
I don't love that. this is a place where we can start to think about like an Elijah Mitchell, where if we expect San Fran to beat Dallas this week, we'll get him points for this week and we'll get him points for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we went Dallas Schultz, we have the risk of just having 1 week worth of points.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of a toss-up matchup for me right now. With the way Dallas played last week, I know Tampa Bay has struggled. They're not the Super Bowl champion team they were 2 years ago. They're
Right.
not the Super Bowl contending team they were last year. They had so many issues with the offensive line, wide receivers being in and out of the lineup all season long, Brady just being terrified to get touched in the pocket. It's just not the same team that everyone thought they were, and I think everyone went into the postseason with the expectation of Tom Terrific. He's going to still get it done in the playoffs, but
I decided to go this route. We got our Buffalo pass catcher here, and we brought it back with Kenneth Gainwell.
you didn't want Boston Scott, the giant killer.
I know. A touchdown in the last 6 games or something. I think we are going to have to draft some Jacksonville guys for upside this week, or we can't draft Giants because we're expecting Philly to beat them.
Yeah.
Absolute worst case, we can draft Giants. Absolute worst case, we have to draft Cincy players, but there's no real high upside Cincy players left on the board besides, I don't think Tyler Boyd's left. So he's not. We have
I
like
don't hate
Gallup.
drafting Evan Ingram because I really do think that this
He's
game
gone.
could go. I would go
So
Zay
like
Jones.
this is going to be a tough team to beat, right? So we need a high upside player to be able to push us through this round, because if we get through this round, Philly and Buffalo both win, we're going to be looking pretty damn good.
Right.
So I think we do need some high upside picks. If we had to go Slayton, I'm not completely against it just for a 1 week play.
Yeah. If Zay Jones is available, I think I would take Zay Jones over Slayton.
For sure, because you have the chance that, and he's gone, you have the chance that they beat KC and you do get 2 games out of him.
Right.
Juwan Jennings, there's just not enough there for me.
Right. No, there's not.
Gallup gone. Gallup's gone. Okay. We're running pretty thin here. I think we have to go Slayton.
Unless you ride
Slayton's gone. We can still go Richie James though. So if Richie James,
you ride with Quez Watkins or Cole Beasley as those kind of like third, fourth options on the team.
Beasley gets sniped. You hate to see that.
Yeah, that was tough.
This team's rocking 3 different sets of players.
Yeah, I was just going to say that team makes no sense at all.
I think we have to go. If we're expecting Isaiah McKenzie to be healthy, we have to get Richie James in here for points. And then we can either go one of these two.
I think I tend to side more with Quez Watkins. I think he's a little bit more of a deep ball guy where
I like that. It's a good take.
Out of the slot, he has more potential to run deep routes than Khalil Shakir does.
This guy's team makes no sense. Jalen Hurts, McKinnon, Devonta Smith. He's got Knox. Then he goes back to KC with
his
Tony.
first 3 picks were fine. But
and then he goes Dallas and Buffalo again.
Since then, it makes no sense.
It's pain. We get sniped twice by him. I'd rather be in a lobby of full, like everyone's a sharp. I'd rather be in a lobby
where everyone knows exactly what they're doing.
It's almost easier to not get your players or like get value, but to have a team that's going to be stronger. Like if your team hits, it hits. Great. No one else cares because they're focused on their team hitting in the best plays that they have to make. So they kind of exhaust all options before they reach out to a third and fourth team.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got way down. I guess we can go Marvin.
Boston Scott's still there. Could go all 3 Philly running backs.
I know, but you're only starting one and then a flex. I think we need high upside. Marvin Jones isn't going to fall. There's no way. Casey.
But I mean, if you're only starting one and a flex, I mean, you're going to get one of the touchdowns.
Let's say AJ
One
Brown scores 20, right? Who else is going to give us our other production? We need another like 15-point game, and it's half point PPR. That's where I think we need like an upside pick just to get through this week. And then if we get through this week and Philly and Buffalo both move on, then we're looking pretty damn good. Someone just drafted Trevor Lawrence, so this guy's going Marvin, or should be. See, I hate that this guy just went Travis Kelce to start, but then banks out on Jacksonville. So is Travis Kelce not moving forward?
And
then if it's going to be San Fran versus Jacksonville,
that's a guy that's drafting to take picks away from people.
I guess so. I think we need Marvin Jones here. And there's a chance that he plays again if they beat KC. Let's do one more battle royale. Guys, if you're enjoying the Galaxy Brain talk, please drop a like on the live stream. That was absolutely frustrating. And they sometimes are. If you get stuck in between a couple players that don't know what they're doing, it's tough to Galaxy Brain your way out of it. But I think that was pretty good. We had the Josh Allen
Battle Royale draft last week where Josh Allen fell to me at 6. And
love that.
I mean, I had to take him there, right? I mean, that's Josh Allen. He's projected number 1 or number 2. Take him at 6. And then Jamar Chase falls. But Diggs didn't fall. Jamar Chase falls. Joe Burrow falls all the way to 18. And I'm like, and
what
the kid that drafted Chase,
bunch of robots.
The kid that drafted Chase didn't even take Joe Burrow when he came back around the second time. I'm like, what are some of these people doing? He ended up taking.
This guy knows something.
Diggs and Burrow, he took Diggs and Burrow instead of taking when he could have had a Diggs and Allen stack, or I can't remember exactly how it went, but I know he could have had a stack of Chase and Burrow.
You're like, buddy, give me your phone. Give me your phone. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, he took a stack of it wasn't even a stack. He just took Allen, or he took Burrow and Diggs instead of stacking the two together. And I mean, that team,
which is okay though. Sometimes if you're doing more than 10 of these, right? If you're doing 10 or 20, you do want to take the QB in the number 1. But if you're doing 50, 60, you have to find ways to get different. Otherwise, you're going to just be drafting the same team over and over.
Yeah.
But it allows other teams to get stronger as well when you start dancing like that.
Joe Burrow falling to 18 blew my mind. I'm like, I just drafted Josh Allen at 6. Joe Burrow's falling all the way to 18. And he was projected to go 6. Things were weird in that draft.
I'm fine with kind of going chalky here with the 6-7.
Yeah,
I don't
have a draft that started out exactly
at 7. I've seen him taken a lot earlier in a lot of my drafts, and I think there's a big fall off. There's a big tier jump.
Yeah, I have a draft that started out exactly like this, where I went Mahomes and Barkley. Ended up bringing Mahomes. I brought it back with ETN.
Okay.
And had a Juju stack with Mahomes, and then added Isaiah Hodgins in to that. And then my one outlier was George Kittle.
Got it. I like that squad. I'm going to try to get away from Juju on this draft. I'm going to try.
The key word there.
Let's see.
I was gonna say a Kirk bring back on that Mahomes. Like, if we expect him to be playing from behind, like the spread is like it wants
Right.
us to think it's a 9-point
Right.
spread and a 52.5 point over. So they're expecting this to be a high scoring game. They're
Who do
gonna
we
be
want our
throwing the
receivers to
ball.
be? Kirk and Brandon Ayuk is probably a potential.
Yeah, I like
If you
Brandon
fell a
Ayuk a
little bit.
lot this week as well. I think Dallas has always lacked against the second wide receiver on the team. We know Debo's probably number one. Dallas has kind of fallen off in the cornerback position when it comes to defending a number 2 receiver. Godwin had 10 catches last week to Mike Evans 3. So,
Okay.
Trayvon Diggs shadows the number 1 receiver typically for that defense, and that frees up the number 2 being Brandon Ayuk a lot.
Dope. Let's see if he falls. No, he doesn't, and that's okay.
Ayuk's still there. Could go
Dogs
Ingram
are
there.
barking. The underdogs are barking.
I think they like the pick then.
Let's go Ayuk here.
I think this is a really strong squad so far.
Right now, it doesn't make sense, right? But it leaves us open for options.
Yes.
It
You have a
definitely leaves
bring
us
back
open.
with Mahomes and Ingram there. It's just that Barkley and Ayuk are kind of the outliers, but you can definitely work back into those games.
And like we talked about, like Mahomes, you don't need to stack him with anyone. He can get there without any of the pass catchers because he spreads the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We know number 1 target is Travis Kelce, but who's the number 2 for that day? It could be anyone. We've seen it be Jerick McKinnon for the last 6 weeks of the season. A lot of the receivers kind of tapered off, so it could be anyone out of the wide receiver room or not even out of the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I agree.
He can have 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers.
This guy goes Brock. I just realized we're in another badgeless draft. So Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Christian Kirk, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs. I love that start. Joe Burrow, Tony Pollard. Not the biggest Tony Pollard guy in the world. I just think his upside is so limited. Travis Kelce, Debo, Jerick McKinnon, George Kittle, Zay Jones goes. Dallas Goedert off the board. Dalton Schultz, Isaiah Pacheco, Devonta Smith, ETN, and Josh Allen.
Don't love that lineup.
It's interesting.
Having Pacheco and ETN.
Everyone's trying to hit like a 5-person parlay right now, which I hate.
Yeah. Those are guys that neither of them can have huge games at the same time. I don't think you're going to see both Pacheco and ETN have 100+ yards and a touchdown or 2 at the same time.
I said I was going to try to stay away from Juju. It's just tough.
He's there right now, so I don't see an issue with taking him.
We have the Evan bring back. We have Giants. I have no problem going a second Giant here.
Yeah, and the way Isaiah Hodgins has kind of emerged as.
Or we can go Michael Gallup as a bring back for the Ayuk game. I think that's interesting.
That's a good one too.
Because he's going to be the player that's less drafted.
Yeah.
So there we go. We got Patrick Mahomes, Juju on the other side of the ball. We have Evan Ingram. We have Brendan Ayuk in a mini stack with Michael Gallup. And then we have Saquon Barkley. It's different. If we're looking to, just cash and make the money, maybe we go Hodgins, maybe we go Darius Slayton. But I like those 2 players as well as high upside picks. So I don't think there's a wrong pick. But when Gallup's being drafted a lot less in these than Hodgins, I think it's a good way to kind of hedge around probably a large portion of the field. Maybe 80% aren't drafting Gallup. 1 and
Yeah,
5.
just make yourself
Are
different. Give yourself that potential to have
right.
that big player guy.
Right. Let's say he gets
Kinda how
20
you win
points
these.
and Hodgins and Slayton get around 12 to 15. That's a big difference. 5 points is huge on these slates.
Yeah.
But Tyler, thank you for coming out to the live stream, fellow co-host, Pounder, the brain, the kid with all the stats up here, like a Snapple fact machine. We're gonna be doing this again, man, for next week. But I'm excited for the
Can't
games
wait.
tomorrow. I know you're excited for the games tomorrow. We'll be in
Oh, I'm so
we'll
hyped
be in
up.
texts. We'll be rifling texts. Hey, what's your closest lineup? What's your closest lineup? So
Yep.
best of
Love
luck.
it. You as
And
well, sir.
everyone, drop a like on the video. Comment down below any questions you have about the gauntlet or about Battle Royale. We'll be happy to answer them.
And
And
let
if you're
us
not
know
already,
your
subscribe to the Pound if you like fantasy football. Pounders.